Hello, I'm Paul Pluta from Paul Pluta Prestige, and today I'd like to talk about the Rolex Explorer 1 14270. That's the Sapphire Crystal Explorer 1. And I've got to say, I'm a huge fan of the Explorer 1. And let me tell you a story. My first Rolex I ever got was a Rolex 1016, a 1016. And I got it in 1990, which was the last year that the plastic version was made. And I remember I had the catalogue. And I just said to a guy I knew in the jewelry business, I said, look, get me the cheapest new Rolex you can. And I said, I don't care what it is, get me a cheapest men's Rolex. I was expecting like an Air King. And he turns up with a Explorer 1, and I thought, wow, that's nice, beautiful, fantastic. And a bit later on, after I did my homework on it, I thought, oh geez, I got the bloody plastic version of it instead of the sapphire version. But I thought, oh, that's okay. He was cool enough. He sold it to me virtually at cost. He was a customer of mine when I had an IT business. And geez, I tell you what, the 1016 became worth a fortune. I mean, the Explorer 1 is also, the Sapphire one is also desirable, but the plastic one, that was a really, I sold it for and bought a day date and still had change. But I gotta say, the 14270, which is the Sapphire version, besides the fact the 1016 is so collectible and desirable, it's really just the modernized version of the 1016, and I've got to say it's almost perfect. And I've owned the 14270 a few times, and I've always loved them. I thought they were just an elegant Rolex to have. And I remember, when I bought my 1016, a friend of mine at the time said to me, hey, that's not a Rolex, it doesn't have a date, it's only got a small crown, that's not a real Rolex. And I thought, that's exactly what I love about it. The fact that it's not in your face, blary, it's just discreet. 3, 6, and 9 numbers there. It's just gorgeous. The big triangle instead of the Rolex crown at the 12 position. Absolutely perfect. Aesthetically, it's not, it's a piece which you could wear because it's a very discreet sports watch. You could wear it as a dress watch. You could wear it as a casual watch. You could wear it as a sports watch. And the beautiful thing about it is the Rolex Explorer 1, you got to look at this. Put on a bezel to a Rolex Explorer 1, it becomes a Submariner. It becomes a GMT. It's the basis for all these legendary models. And this is the thing, the Explorer 1 is the basis of all sports watches, and that's the significance of it. And I'm so pleased that Rolex has decided to keep this model in the range. And if you look at the history of the Explorer 1, it's an amazing piece of kit, and I love them. I think they are cool pieces to have. And look, if I was going to get a Rolex again, I would Explorer 1, I think, is the one that calls out to me. And they're just such a cool piece of kit to have there. And just pure, it's just one for the purists. It's just not a show-off Rolex. It's a Rolex you have because you know what it is. It's just beautiful. And I think they're really good value for money because some people say, oh, they're a bit small. This model here has been replaced by the 39mm Explorer 1, but I like the 36mm. I think that's quite a nice size. That's my own opinion. I'm a big guy, and I think it's a great size. You don't want it too big. Okay, let's go for the scoring for the Rolex Explorer 1 14270. For the brand itself, I'm going to give it a 7. The significance of this model has to be a 10. For the movement, I'm going to give it an 8. For the workmanship and quality of this piece, and forget that Walt review from Time Zone. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm going to give this an 8 for the workmanship and finish. And finally, the Paul Pluta Prestige rating, I'm giving it an 8. That gives us a score of 41 points. I'm Paul Pluta from Paul Pluta Prestige, and I hope you've enjoyed this review.